am the least racist person there is anywhere in the world.
That was Trump back during his first administration, insisting that he is the least racist person, not in his family, not in his town, not even in his country, but anywhere in the world. Now, that was him very famously shouting something that you only ever feel the need to shout if it's not true. Okay? I've known plenty. I think it's a sign of a healthy life if you've known plenty very not racist people. And none of them ever had to shout over the noise of a helicopter that they're the least racist person. Now, I don't even think you should feel the need to say, I'm not racist. Specifying that usually means something has gone awry. But specifying that no one is less racist than you is the biggest red flag ever. And of course, he did this or felt the need to do this again. I'll show you that clip in a second where he revamps the greatest hit of I'm the least racist person ever after doing something blatantly racist, which is of course the only time you ever have to do that or say that, which was this, posting on Truth Social, as we talked about, a racist depiction of the Obamas portrayed as apes. And as I told you, especially in this category, nothing Trump does shocks me. But what can shock me is the reaction of people who support him, bending themselves into pretzels, embarrassing themselves to give often contradictory explanations. So it started with, he didn't post that, that's a fake video. Then it was, okay, he did post that, but the little pop-up where you see the Obamas depicted that way, if you go find the original video where that was grabbed from, despite the original video not being what Trump posted, but just a clip from it popping up in the video, if you go find the full thing, it's just a meme. Because of course there's no racist memes. That's impossible. And it's actually just a portrayal of Trump as the king of the jungle. He's a lion, and this is a Lion King meme where the Obamas are portrayed as, from all I can tell, not characters from the Lion King, just apes. So I didn't see how that changed it. Then it was, Trump didn't post it. So first, he didn't post it. Then he did post it, but it wasn't bad. Then he didn't post it, but it was posted just by a staffer. And then. And that's where we get to Trump reiterating just how unracist he believes himself to be. And again, I feel like the most fascinating part of this story, aside from just the general embarrassment that having Trump as a president is watching those conflicting explanations from his supporters. So I'm going to show you in a second here a few examples, and let me spoil one of them. He has a black friend. Okay, so hey, no worries. He has a black friend. Apparently, because I'm spoiling it, but I'm going to show you a couple clips. Because Nicki Minaj went to the White House, him portraying the Obamas as, or that getting posted on his account as apes, is not racist because he's friends with Nicki Minaj. That's what we're going to see in a second. But here's him saying, least racist.
You frequently criticize Joe Biden for not knowing what is going on in his name. This racist video that was posted on your social media.
I'm a hell of a lot better than you do. You don't know what's going on. I know what's going on. No, Joe Biden didn't have a clue, but we know everything.
Guys, while you watch this and we get to the most interesting part of it, please do, if you appreciate this show, click the subscribe button. Makes a big difference. I hope you enjoy the content, however insane it can be. And if you do, the way that you support it is free. Just clicking that subscribe button. Let's keep listening. So far, Trump's getting triggered that a reporter asks a very good question. I don't know who that was, but a very good question, which is, you said Biden was gone in the brain because he didn't know what was going on in his administration. But now you're saying what you did wasn't bad because it was someone else running your social media account. So do you not know what's going on in your administration?
When you look at what's happening with our economy and think of it, we're way years ahead of schedule. We have thousands and thousands of businesses being built right now. So Joe Biden had no clue. If Joe Biden were elected or if Kamala were elected, we wouldn't have a country right now.
You won the election because of minority voters. Does this post maybe hurt Republicans with, black voters after the
I think, look, we did criminal justice reform. I did the historically black colleges and universities. I got them funded. Nobody has been, and that's why I got the highest vote with male black voters that they've seen in many, many decades. I've done great with them. Black voters have been great to me. I've been great to them. Black voters have been great to me. I've been great to them.
Yeah, so you just repeated the same thing twice. So you just repeat yourself twice. Okay, all right.
And I am, by the way, the least racist president you've had in a long time, as far as I'm concerned. We have...
Yeah, and he's also the best president for black Americans ever. He's told us. Don't look back at history. Just believe him. He was asked, okay, so if it's a staffer, is that staffer going to be punished? Or are you going to fire them? Do you apologize?
Media post that you took down earlier today, the White House says that a staffer sent it. Who sent it, and are you going to fire them?
I looked at it. I saw it, and I just looked at the first part. It was about voter fraud in someplace, Georgia. There was a lot of voter fraud, 2020 voter fraud. And I didn't see the whole thing. I guess during the end of it, there was some kind of a that people don't like. I wouldn't like it either, but I didn't see it. I looked at the first part.
I think that was just a glitch, but that sounded really bad. That was the wrong time for a glitch. It showed people. It showed what people? It showed. Let's see if that was our computer or the actual audio.
Some kind of a people.
Oh! Oh! What was there? We want to know.
Don't like. I wouldn't like it either, but I didn't see it. I looked at the first part, and it was really about voter fraud and the machines, how crooked it is, how disgusting it is. Then I gave it to the people. Generally, they look at the whole thing, but I guess somebody didn't, and they posted, and we took it down, and we did it. But that was a voter fraud that nobody talks about. They don't like to talk about that post. We took it down as soon as we found out about it.
Mr. President, a number of Republicans are calling on you to apologize for that post. Is that something you're going to do?
No, I didn't make a mistake. I mean, I look at a lot of thousands of things.
So he refuses to apologize. He didn't make a mistake. Then why did you delete it? Oh, I didn't make a mistake. Why did you delete it? Posting and deleting something is necessarily a mistake because you deleted it. So the post was accidental if you deleted it. He can't ever admit that he's wrong, which comes into conflict with life, because in life, sometimes you're wrong. And sometimes the best thing to do is apologize. But one of the things he learned from his mentor, very famously, was never admit that you're wrong. Deny, deny, deny. And attack. And that's the only playbook that he has. Even whenever they know they're wrong, so much that they delete the post and they blame it on a staffer. Which, by the way, don't believe for a second. Trump retweets that 100%. Here's Caroline Levitt being asked about it.
Wins, Trump RX, obviously the Benghazi arrest. It's been issue after issue. At the same time, and I know you've been dealing with this today, but Donald Trump's Truth Social post set off a firestorm online. I only noticed it this morning because I was writing, but it was a video that he had posted portraying Michelle and Barack Obama with an ape motif, and I guess there were other politicians who.
A motif, by the way. It was an ape motif, she says. Because she's writing. She's trying to make sure she's improving her vocab. What are you writing, Laura Ingraham? Autobiography. How do you lie? Looking like a 3D printed Fox News host. How did I do it? a Laura Ingraham story.
were portrayed in other animal motifs as an internet meme. Tim Scott, the senator, obviously African-American, said he was praying it was fake because it was the most racist thing he'd ever seen out of the White House. The president should remove it. Caroline, I know the president did remove it, deleted it, but it was up for, I think, 12 hours or something like that. How did this happen, and can you really throw a staffer under the bus for this?
Well, look, Laura, it was a meme that was posted by a staffer on the president's Truth Social account. It was from a Lion King video depicting, as you pointed out, different Democrats as different animals. I think Kamala Harris was depicted as a turtle in this video meme. The president did take it down. He spoke with lawmakers today out of respect for them, including Senator Tim Scott. The post was removed, but leave it to the leftist media, of course.
There's something weird about that, is there not? Oh no, they saw the racist video, call Tim Scott. It's kind of like, call the black senator, get him on the phone. I need to pay my respects. Like, what? I thought you said it wasn't racist. Why are you calling Tim Scott? It wasn't bad. It wasn't racist. It wasn't a mistake, but we called black lawmakers to let them know why we posted it. Sounds contradictory.
To talk about this all day rather than talk about the fact that the Dow has broken over 50,000 points for the first time in our nation's history.
And is underperforming where it would have been if it weren't for Trump getting into office. Look it up. Look at the contrast between world markets and ours. Look at what we could have had. But yes, whenever you're already having a raging market breaking records and then you take over, it's going to at some point likely tick a little higher and then you'll take credit for it. Or a lot higher even, but just a slower rate than it would have. Okay, so that's Levitt. Now we get to the real argument from many of them, which is, how could he be racist? What about Nicki Minaj?
Trump won the Hispanic Latin vote by a historic margin, the most any other Republican has in history, the most black voters since the 1960s. He's not racist. Time and time again, he was on stage with Nicki Minaj the other day. I mean, this man is not racist. He made it very clear what happened in that statement.
So again, some of this is just like, why are you being so silly and ridiculous? Whoever that is, you know what I mean? Is like, is this Laura Ingraham? Oh no, this is Wales. Okay, sorry, I got myself. Why are you being so ridiculous? You can't use. You can. It's just gonna make me laugh. It's a little embarrassing. You know, that's a classic. That's like the biggest classic defense in the book that everyone jokes about, which is, what about my black friend? And you said you didn't even. She couldn't even get herself to say he has black friends. She just said he was on stage with Nicki Minaj. He was in the vicinity of Nicki Minaj. How could he be racist? I guess Jesse Waters had Mike Tyson on.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for that. I'm really grateful for that. But listen, my whole experience with President Trump is that he's just a genuine, real person. If he got your back, he's with you 100%.
Yeah, he's a loyal guy. That's
my experience with him. Yeah. That's why I'm for him 100% because he's never been nothing but for me.
He's one of the most loyal guys you'll ever meet.
That's so ridiculous. He's one of the most disloyal people. Just because you haven't yet been thrown under the bus, you know that he's thrown everyone under the bus no matter how loyal to him they were. That's his whole MO. But again, you might think, all right, one person said that defense. Here's another one.
It was not handled the best way. They should have immediately investigated it and realized that it was an automatic scroll into a video, which, as you did play, depicted a number of people and animals. Is it silly? Yes. But was it vindictive, and does it classify the president of the United States as a racist? No. And I think if you look at his policies, people in his cabinet, the people who visited the White House, including Nicki Minaj recently, to call him a racist or to imply that he is...
What? How did that memo go out? In the MAGA group chats. Guys, here's what you say if you go on TV. Nicki Minaj went to the White House. It makes... Imagine we didn't have the history from Trump. And y'all know, because a lot of MAGAs turn their ears off when you use racist, I often try to explain certain concepts in ways that avoid that term to make sure they know. Because they get sensitive about it. And okay. But Trump has a record that's like, if you're going to use racist, yeah, I mean, come on. This guy. And so let's pretend for a second we didn't have any of the history of racism from Trump. Like, how did he get his whole political career started? The birtherism lie about Barack Obama. But okay, let's pretend like we didn't know any of that. If just Biden posted the same thing, or something like it, and the same news cycle was happening. But even okay, you're gonna say, but Biden said, okay. Just I'm saying, imagine just any generic president did the same thing, and that's all. It was the first time we ever saw anything racist from them. And then all of a sudden, their defenders came out and just kept saying, "Hey, but what about that time Nicki Minaj was on stage with the president?" That would make me go from whoa to what the hell? That's making me more suspicious that all of you are using that defense. Here's Abby Phillip on CNN talking about the different conflicting and strange defenses from Trump defenders.
I have a few examples.
But the biggest thing is he took it down, so he's not supporting.
I know the point you're making, but just to point out, there's a divide here, right? There are the people, lawmakers who are criticizing him. And then there's Laura Loomer, who advises the president, is there all the time. She says, Donald Trump did nothing wrong. Nobody has done more for black people than Donald Trump. She also called for Tim Scott to resign because he condemned Trump. You've got Benny Johnson saying, a hoax you got tricked into falling for by Democrats. Dinesh D'Souza says, in context, this is both amusing and harmless. Another race hoax from the left. There's more. Another case of Trump derangement syndrome, et cetera, et cetera. There are these people, and then there are also the Republicans who will condemn this as if it is a thing in isolation. But Trump keeps doing it over and over and over again. And I think,
Okay, so that wasn't an example of conflicting. That was just the people blindly going, this is great, this is funny. And my whole thing is, in a lot of my advocacy, I try to get to the core of what would be most compelling to someone who is open to having their mind changed, but not already aligned with me on everything. And so if I'm going to explain to someone why Trump's bad, I'm going to start with these real systemically consequential policy things he's doing that for almost every American, you're going to see the effects of in a negative way in your life. I'm going to talk about their health. I'm going to talk about how he's serving the elites and those things. And I think sometimes the right kind of wants us to get into a racist debate. It feels like they believe that serves them better. Or I'm sure Trump's kind of liking that we're talking about racist gate instead of Epstein for a second. So I'm being mindful of that, which is if you're happening to stumble across this and you think that like the only reason someone has a major problem with Trump is because he posted this, just know that's not anyone's argument. This just happens to be another case of Trump does something gross and all of his defenders pretend like the world's upside down to defend him. But I mean, as this is happening, look at this. Trump is opening an investigation into The View. Just another example of his vindictive retribution campaign against media outlets he doesn't like. The Federal Communications Commission's opened an investigation into The View on ABC, according to a report by Fox News Digital on Friday. Fake news is not getting a free pass anymore, a source told Fox News. So he's continuing this campaign against the First Amendment, and that should be noted as well. But pretty embarrassing stuff there, I gotta say, from MAGA World.